Okay, fabrication for film. That's prop making, tools, sets, gear, whatever. There's a bunch of stuff, tools, materials, whatever. And I'm gonna go over a couple of things. So, this stuff right here, this is thermoplastic. Comes in little pellets and you heat it up, it melts within a couple of minutes. It's hard. Doesn't even have to be that hot. You heat up a cup of water in the microwave for 3 minutes and that's good enough. Some pros, it is very hard, very durable. I could throw this against the wall with all my might and it would not break. It's also very quick. If you need a quick prop, a quick costume, or a quick addition to a costume, very useful. Some cons, it cannot really be sanded. Well, it can, but it's just not worth the effort because sanding causes friction, friction causes heat, etc. And any kind of heat will melt this. It will also melt out in the sun or in a car. So those are some cons to it. Now, moving on. Epoxy sculpt or epoxy clay. This stuff is a 2-part clay mixture. Once you mix it together, within 24 hours, it will become hard. Okay? It's very good for sculpting, getting in fine detail, unlike the thermoplastic, which as you can see is all very lumpy, bumpy, etc. You can carve it, you can sand it, you can polish it, whatever. Some cons to it though. One, it smells god-awful while it's curing for those 24 hours. So that's pretty awful. When I say god-awful, it makes me sick to my stomach. Another thing, it is very heavy. It has some heft to it, okay? It also is brittle. If I drop this on my floor, my fake wood floor, it will break into a bunch of pieces, which is not useful. So for a full helmet piece like this, it's actually very, very impractical. But I'm just using it as a prototype, so whatever. Other than that though, it's great for tools, great for quick fixes. Something snaps off, you can pop it back on, and then 24 hours later, once it's cured. Very important differential for curing. See, curing is a chemical reaction. So if you sculpt something out of clay, the water in that is going to evaporate and it's going to shrink. If you sculpt something, or not sculpt, but if you use plaster, then the water is going to evaporate and it's going to shrink. Curing does not shrink. This stays the exact same size, okay? As opposed to like, let's say Gorilla Glue. That stuff will expand. This will not. It'll also cure dry, wet, underwater, doesn't matter. So there's that. And the quickest and easiest of all is cardboard. Basically, any method you want works. Glue it together with hot glue like I did here. Glue it together with Elmer's glue, super glue, tape, whatever. Then you can take a razor and carve out details, or scissors or a knife, whatever. You can take a Dremel and create cool different textures, carve it out in there. You can create different layers, you can paint it, you can do all these different things. Cardboard is extremely versatile, and if you save your cardboard, free. Or you can go out to, a grocery store or Taco Bell and ask them if you can have their spare cardboard. Most of the time they won't care and they'll give you the trash. There are also places where you can just pick up used cardboard, whatever. Pros, cheap, easy, quick. You don't need any complex tools. You don't, like the most or the least you can use is like a knife and make stuff. Really cool, detailed stuff. As opposed to like epoxy sculpt where you need sandpaper or files or chisels, maybe a drill, maybe a rotary tool, and the thermal plastic, which pretty much you just have to work with it while it's, setting. So, I mean, you can carve stuff in there. You can, well, not really carve, but cut stuff in there, but it is not easy. It does not want to work with you. It doesn't really have a grain or anything like that, and it's kind of iffy. So, 3 basic materials for fabrication, prop making, costume making, accessories, tools, fixes, whatever. Have a good day. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't really care. Good night.